Hey guys, welcome back. AURABOMB here, bringing you another deck profile. Today, we're doing the Babe. We're doing Lilithloop today. That's not the cards. Lilithloop is probably the deck I have the most fun playing, but at the same time hate playing, because like some games take forever, and then like you're playing forever, and you can tell sometimes your opponents are like not having fun, but you can get some insano boards and insano OTKs as well with this build. So I'm really excited to showcase with you guys my build of Lilithloop. This is something I've been testing a lot, especially recently. And I'm very happy with this build. And then we can discuss different cards we can play and whatnot, but let's try to keep this video nice and short for you guys so you can see the video and continue on with your day. If you have any decks you want to see me post in the future, let me know in the comments down below. You guys know the drill. Like the video if you haven't already, subscribe, share, all that good jazz. It helps me a ton, and if these videos keep doing well, I'll keep doing deck profiles, even over like rogue fun stuff that you can take to your locals. But of course we're a purple deck, so best card to play is always going to be Omnimon. On deletion, draw one, trash one. Just really good way to cycle through your deck, especially in Lilithloop where you're trying to get 10 cards in your trash as quickly as possible. And then of course Digimon. This could really be any fifth egg. Digimon is cool, but its retaliation is only during your turn, which means like you can't put retaliation on a blocker and block and try to kill somebody. It's only during your turn. But there's other cards like Digimon and stuff like that that can give you 2,000 more DP upon something being deleted. So there's a lot of useful purple eggs, but obviously nothing can trump Omnimon at the moment. And Digimon is just my fifth one because I don't know, maybe I want to crash with something. This could be anything though. Maybe it's probably not the best in my build, but I guess with an egg you can crash and delete something. It's fun. I like it. That's it for the eggs though. Now for the rookies. Rookies are pretty interesting in purple. You don't play that many because you don't need that many, but they are kind of important which ones you do play. And I have a few of them here. We can talk about reasons why I am or am not playing them. We're going to first start off with the memory guys. Just one Candlemon, one Devimon, same thing, vanillas. Just to, you know, memory control, 2 drops, easy enough to throw down on the board, keep your opponent at 1 memory, etc, etc. Alright, so we play those boys. We are playing 3 Gabumon. This could easily be 4. I play a lot of blockers in my build, so my level 4s aren't attacking very much, which is why I didn't go for the full 4. I'm playing 3, but they do attack sometimes, and sometimes I block and let them die, and then Gabumon triggers, yada yada yada. You guys know the drill. So I like Gabumon at 3. You could play 4. It's the same reason why I'm playing 3 Labramon. Labramon on play, draw 1, trash 1. Fills up your trash, fills up your hand, etc. Good card. You can play 4 of these. These are kind of like memory control cards, but if you don't like these cards, you can easily make this a 4/4 line. Card that I was playing 4 of, but I cut down to 2 of pretty quickly was the Guilmon. Guilmon's on deletion effect to gain on memory is great, and it's really good versus a lot of different decks, such as yellow, if they delete you. Well, I don't know if this actually triggers on yellow, actually, now that I think about it. Forget I said anything. I have to double check the ruling there. But if they delete you through effects, you gain a memory. So if your opponent has to delete you because they fear being, you know, rushed down the following turn, then Guilmon will gain you a memory, which is really nice. But this card isn't really useful until you get the combo going or you play Chaos Gallantmon. So because of that, this 4 of count kind of felt like a brick early game. Like I wish it was one of these instead. So I cut down to 2 because you don't really need it till the late game anyways. And I'm playing 2 Gazumon. There's a lot of, we just did a blue deck yesterday that gains a lot of memory through non-tamer effects. So there's blue, of course there's yellow gaining memory through Pulsemon and through, what's it called, Blinding Ray, and Patamon, if they play Patamon. There's other colors too, mostly the mirror match for purple, because there's a lot of memory we'll be gaining here, which we'll be talking about here in a second. Gazi's good at 2, you can even play 3 if you want to. But that's it for the rookies. There's not many rookies in purple, but I mean, you guys have seen most purple decks, I'm assuming already, and it's par of the course. You usually only play 12, 3, 6, 10, 12 rookies here, and then you go from there. Your other cards come from your options and tamers and ultimates and whatnot, so we'll talk about those as we get there. Real quick, we have 3 other options here for rookies that I think are kind of relevant. We have Gabumon here. Draw 1, trash 1 on attacking. The way my deck is I'm mostly playing blockers, so I'm probably not going to be attacking a lot with level 4s. So this Gabumon to me is not great, but if you play more Meramon and Devimon than you do blockers, then this Gabumon might be pretty good. Probably even better than the other Gabumon we have. Itmon is good if you really want to rush 10 cards in your trash. I personally don't feel like it's useful. One, because if you play like the white tamer, Takashi or whatever one, the one that lets you lose a memory when a rookie attacks, it just doesn't work with this card. Like, you can't really play the two together, so I don't understand why some people play them together. And two, this deck, you don't need this effect. Like, you can, between all your Labramons, Devimons, Devimons, I'll just say, your Gabumons, your Lady Devimons, you have a lot of ways to empty your own hand. Not to mention just lidding a stack die. Like, lidding a stack die is like an easy 4 or 5 cards. Letting your opponent take security is another free card. It's like, it's so easy to get 10 cards in your trash by like turn 2 or 3. So I wouldn't even bother playing Itmon personally, but some people really like the Itmon. So if you want to play Beelzemon, Itmon in your Lilithloop deck just for a little bit more control, go for it. And Tapermon, it gives me the same. This card feels the same to me as Itmon, right? Like, sure, it's a free draw one on deletion, but you shouldn't want to attack with your rookies in this deck if you found your tamers. Even if you didn't find your tamers and you get this, great, you get to attack with the rookie and maybe proc off Devimon at the same time. But for the most part, I just don't feel like it's worth the risk of getting rookies down and attacking with rookies when you have the tamer. You really want that tamer down as quickly as possible to accelerate your draws. So why would I want to attack with rookies and lose memory when I could be playing down the tamer? So that's why I'm not playing those rookies. And let's go ahead and move on to the level 4s. And I know that there's been a lot of cuts in my videos lately, guys. I do apologize about that. It's mostly because every time somebody walks into this room, I want to make sure that I give you guys some good quality by cutting out all the background noise. But here we are playing 7 blockers, 4 Devimon, 3 Vilemon. Like I say all the time, I prefer the 2-cost blockers to the 1-cost Evo blockers because Shoutmon and Lord Nightmon. But in this case, I'm not playing any Meramon in this because I like what the blockers and the Devimon do for me more than Meramon. So no Meramons. That was weird background noise, sorry about that. No Meramons, just playing these 11 dudes. Because, or these 10 dudes, because it's just good. I like them a lot. Devimon is your removal in the deck. A lot of people just forget Devimon exists, and sometimes a lot of people just can't play around Devimon. Like, decks have to attack to win. Decks have to attack to get their strategies off. Like, look at Lord Nightmon. Lord Nightmon has no choice but to attack to use its skills. So you just evolve one of your dudes into the Devimon, swing into it, boom, bam, you're happy, they're sad. And isn't that what we're all about in this card game? But like I was saying earlier, I do like this one more, but we really need the 1-cost Evo in this deck to cycle up into Lady Devimon quickly. So that's why I'm playing more of this than I would be this. But if you want to play an 11th champion and maybe like a 13th or 14th rookie, you can. We'll talk about the different cuts you can make. But as far as what I like this. If you like Meramon, go for it. But Meramon has just so much going against it. It's a 5-cost. It's a 5k, I mean, which isn't great. It is a 5-cost, which is actually not bad, but so is Vilemon. So, but it's just like it's a 1-cost to evolve, but it's a vanilla. I mean, it doesn't really do anything for you. Like, with this deck, you want to stall the game and keep the game going in your favor and try not. Essentially, you're just trying not to lose till you win, which you could say about any deck. But with Lilithloop, it's like, that's like how the game works, because once you get your combo going, you just win. There's almost nothing your opponents can do that can stop you from winning the game once you get the combo going. So until then, you're just trying to survive. So that's why I like these the most as far as level 4s go. And like I mentioned earlier, you could play Meramon. I'm choosing not to. But Meramon's not bad. It's still a 1-cost to evolve, 5-cost to play. It is 5k, which means it loses to things like Shoutmon and, you know, the Lord Nightmon attacking combo we talked about earlier. But you know, sometimes it's probably better to play those cards than it is to deal with those weaknesses. But as far as level 8 goes, we are playing 4 Lady Devimon, probably the most important card because it draws you your cards and also has a really strong inheritable to when you play an option card, delete one of your opponent's level 3 or level 3 Digimon, which is like super nice actually. And of course, draw two, trash 2. Which means you're drawing 3 cards. If you have a Takumi on board, you're drawing 4 cards and trashing 2. Like I said, it's really easy to get your combo. Actually, I didn't say that yet, but it's really easy to get 10 cards in your trash. But in this deck, it's really easy to get your combo. I know some people are afraid of this deck because, oh, I hate combo decks in Digimon. I do too, but when your whole deck is surrounded by having good cards that also help you get to your combo, that makes for a good deck. It's really, really nice. I'm playing 3 of these. I still like Black War Growlmon. Digiburst 3 gets you more cards in your trash, lets you bring back a level 3 from the trash, and also you can unsuspend yourself, which actually helps you a lot with your Omnimon OTK at the end of the game. So Love the Black Wargramon. And then of course, one Chimeramon, you can bring him back with Omnimon to delete something off the board. Not the most necessary card in the world, but having a bunch of removal at the same time as making your board huge is super nice. So I would definitely never remove this card personally, but I can understand people's arguments for wanting to remove this card. But this is my 8 level 5s. You can always add a 4th Wargramon, Black Wargramon if you want to. I personally don't think it's necessary. I've been finding level 5s pretty easily. I don't think I've ever needed them. Once again, you do get a lot of draws in this deck, so I don't think I've been in a position where I'm just like, oh no, I'm whiffing. At least not too often, thanks to the tamers and whatnot. And then for the level 6s, we have, of course, the queen herself. We got Lilithmon, and we got 2 Chaos Gallantmons. So as far as, one thing I should probably mention beforehand, level 5s, you could play Skullmaramon as a cheap, like 5 cost to play, 2 cost to evolve, if you're trying to rush into these guys. I feel like you're never in a position where you need to rush into the Lilithmon. You just need to prepare yourself to evolve into the Lilithmon the following turn, so you can get off the whole combo. That's usually what you're trying to do. So you already played Jack Raid, like it's not super hard to get enough memory in your turn to make sure that you get the big Lilithmon into Omnimon, like blowout turn. So you're not super worried about having a cheap cost guy, but if you want one, there's always a reason to have them, so it's not too bad. So as far as Lilithmon goes, we all know what it does. When you play an option card, you can gain 2 memory. So 1 Jack Raid means that, well, when you evolve into it, you get 2 Jack Raids from your trash, right? So what usually happens is you play 1 or 2 Jack Raids, right? Which will gain you 2 memory. So let's just say you start your turn with 1 memory, right? You're holding on to these Jack Raids until you get the big turn. You play down both the Jack Raids as in your hand, you gain 2 memory, so you're at 3. Then you evolve into your Lilithmon, get those Jack Raids back, then you play those 2 Jack Raids again, and now you've gained 1, 2, 3, 4 memory. Now you have 4 memory at the start of your turn. This is assuming that you did no other effects. Usually you're gonna have more than 4. In most cases, you probably might even have 6. In every case that I play this deck, I've usually put myself at 6 memory after evolving into Lilithmon, because you usually have more than just 2 Jack Raids, right? Usually you hold on to like 3 or 4 of them at this point in the game, and you're just like boom, 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 boom. And then you might even have like 20 cards in your trash at some point to gain 2 memory at a time. It's super nice. Lilithmon is great. You get option cards back, and you can gain a lot of memory, and then you do your whole Omnimon play. Now for the Chaos Gallantmon, some people like playing other megas. Like the main one I see play is Anubismon. I know that everyone's just like, play the deck so you get the combo, win when you get the combo. But realistically, you have to have some sort of control in the game so that you don't lose. Like if you're playing against a Shoutmon deck and you're just being all like, that's fine, set up on me, I'm just too busy setting up. Like if you just let your opponent do that, you're gonna lose the game, because eventually they will rush you and you just can't win. And that sucks. So you wanna play other cards that can give you abilities to deal with that scenario. And for me, it's Chaos Gallantmon, because this is just a crazy card. On Digivolve, delete something, delete one of your own things, delete one of your opponent's level 5 or lower Digimon. So that's already like great, most Digimon in the game. And then you bring back one of your level 3s from the trash. So, and then they can use their play effects, I believe. Oh no, they can't use them, not with this card. But you can bring back anything, evolve it into a blocker in your turn, or you can bring back Guilmon so that you can be prepared to delete it again to gain more effects through other effects. You can usually attack twice with this card thanks to Wargramon, Black Wargramon, and yeah, it's just another semblance of control. You're 12k, you can constantly bring back rookies to threaten your opponent's board, etc, etc. So this card is probably the best level 6 you can play in Lilithmon at the moment. Maybe that'll change in the future. Not many other level 6 come to mind. I guess you could attempt to play Maestamon just to remove more security, but that's not really defensive as much as it's trying to push for game. And if you're trying to push the game, you might as well play Anubismon, right? So these are the megas I pick, and I've been very happy with them. I haven't wanted to change yet. Like that's all I'm saying. But then again, who knows, right? Also, I guess we have the Zwart in the deck, and before we do that, I think it's just the coolest thing ever that they have like artwork that goes like this. Look at this stuff. Isn't that cool? Isn't that so cool? That's so cool. I don't want to unsleeve the cards, but if I did want to unsleeve them, let me see if I can. There you go. Matching artwork, baby. Look at that. That's so sick. I think it's so sick, dude. I'm so easily amused with this stuff. Anyways, we were playing 3 Zwarts. You don't need 4. People always talk about how you need 4 to find them. You don't need 4. Because we're not playing cards like Impmon. We're not playing cards that discard from the top of our deck. We're gonna control these cards being in the trash or not, so you don't need 4. But Zwart is crazy. Zwart is your other removal option. Zwart, it facilitates the OTK because we are playing Ty and Matt, which means you get to check multiple security. But anyways, when Digivolving, trash the top 3 cards of your deck, and then play 2 level 5 or lower purple or black Digimon from your trash. So you can play Chimeramon plus something, pop something with your own, with your Chimeramon effect to pop something else on your opponent's side of the board. That helps with the control aspect. You can play Black War Groundmon. You can play Lady Devimon, just so that you can evolve the Lilithmon that you put back in your hand using Omnimon Zwart's effect into one of these guys. And now the following turn they get to attack multiple times. Or Lady Devimon, you can play option delete more level 3s, etc, etc. So, and then if you don't like that, you can play cards like Blockers back if you need to be defensive so you don't lose the following turn. You can play Devimon back for even more removal for the following turn. You can play rookies, but like very rarely will you need to play rookies. I guess if you need to draw more cards at this point in the game, you can play Labramon, although that almost never happens. But yeah, pretty much every card we've been over except for the megas, you can bring back with Zwart. And of course, Zwart has, when attacking, return that level 6 under it to your hand, and delete one of your opponent's Digimon, unsuspended Digimon with a play cost of 12 or less. So if they attack you last turn, if they didn't attack you last turn, if they're unsuspended, then you could pop them. This is the case for everything, spare like a few 13 cost of play megas, and of course, Ultras, I believe they're called, the level 7s. So you can delete most things on the board with this guy. And once again, if you can't delete it, you have Retaliation. And if you can usually attack into it as well as an option. So Omnimon Zwart has that effect. And of course, you know, it's kind of like the key of the deck. And of course, this helps a lot when you have cards like Ty and Matt. Ty and Matt gives your Omnimon security attack +1. And you get to gain 2 memory if your opponent has a level 6 as well. So for the tamers that we're playing, we are playing 2 Ty and Matt and 2 Takumi Aiba. If you don't like the Ty and Matt, it's fine, you can cut it. I personally think Lilithmon or Lilith Loop is at its strongest when you do play Ty and Matt. I don't want to play more than 2, but I do think that this deck is weaker without Ty and Matt, because if your opponent has any sort of response, they can do something to stop you from losing the following turn, you know, or stop you from winning the following turn. And you really want to win the following turn after your Omnimon Zwart effect goes off, or win that turn. It's actually really possible to win the same turn because your Omnimon has, like, you know, security attack +1 and is attacking twice in most games thanks to Black War Groundmon letting you attack twice. So that's 4 security checks. And then you might have another Digimon or 2 on the board that can attack as well, or you've already gotten chip damage at some point in the game, and you can just win the game that turn. So Ty is really good for making the game a little bit faster on your end. But the following turn, you can just check 4 security that turn, and then you have like a board of like 5, 6, 7 Digimon, and your opponent has to somehow respond to all of those. Enough to where they can't win, which is really, really hard, because at this point, if you've taken 4 security, they probably only have 1 security left, which means you only need 2 attacks to win the game. And that's hard to do when you have a huge board. But if you have, if they have like 3 security left in the game, you need 4 attacks. They just have to get rid of enough Digimon to stop you from having 4 attacks, which is a lot more easier. It's a lot easier to do than only stopping 2 attacks, if that makes sense. So that's why I feel like Ty is kind of necessary in these deck builds. Of course, if you disagree with me, let me know in the comments. I'm interested. I think it's necessary. I think that it's a lot easier to respond to this deck if they are not going to lose the following turn, if that makes sense. I'm trying to make this make sense, but it's a lot easier for your opponent to respond to you if you didn't take most of their security than it is if you didn't, which is why I feel like this card's good. Even one of these, the card is dead. Of course, we are playing Takumi. Takumi is just good for stalling the game, thanks to its ability to make all level 3s have -1 security on attacking, and of course draws a bunch of cards throughout the game, so getting this down early is good as well. Both of these cards, great. I'm also playing 1 Matt. I know a lot of people don't like Matt. Personally, I'm on the fence. This is the newest card I'm added to the deck. I really like starting with 3 memory with the Lilithmon combo. In theory, you don't need it, but I like having the ability to get this back. I've actually used this a few times to win games by getting cards like Chaos Gallantmon back to my hand to like remove even more cards on the board. I had games where like I evolved into Chaos Gallant, did a bunch of stuff, my opponent responded, killed my Chaos Gallant. I responded by playing Matt, getting Chaos Gallant back, and then evolving it to Chaos Gallant to remove even more of their Digimon. That's happened to me actually a few times when testing. So I liked Matt for that. Matt gets back any of your random purple Digimon, such as a Devimon, to do a quick response against your opponent. Such as Jack Raid if you want to just gain more memory, especially late game. Matt I've liked, but to me, it hasn't felt like the end all be all to this deck. So if you want to make a cut, you can cut Matt. I'm only playing it as a 1 of 2, so that already comes with its own problems, but I've liked it so far. I'm gonna keep trying it, and I guess I'll let you guys know on Twitter if I do or don't like Matt. But I'm gonna keep playing it, see how I feel about it. But if you want to make a cut for other decks or other numbers, not for other decks, for other cards or other numbers, Matt would probably be my first cut. And then the options to end this video off, we have 4 Jack Raid. You know what? I'm playing 4. I've only recently started playing 4. I was very happy with 3. I don't think you need 4, but I like especially now that I'm playing Matt, I feel like you don't need 4. But 4 is like safety. You know, I don't want to be in such a bad spot. But at the same time, 4 bricks. So I'm on the fence. Like, you want 4 so you can get off all the crazy plays with Omnimon and whatnot, so you win the game. But you don't want 4 because you don't want your early game hands to brick all the time. So I'm on the fence about how many Jack Raids I want to play. At the moment, I'm playing 4 and I've been okay with it. But when I was playing 3, I was also okay with it. It hasn't felt better. It hasn't felt worse quite yet. But I need to get in more games before I'm super sure about it. One card I am glad I'm only playing 2 of though is Mega Digimon Fusion, because like the more I play this deck, the more I realize I don't even need this card. I haven't been in a position to where I needed to use this card to get off crazy plays, because I'm able to put myself at 6 memory pretty consistently just to evolve on the Omnimon naturally and get off the plays that way. Sure, I can extend my plays even further with this card, but then my Omnimon has to go back to the bottom of the deck at the end of the turn, which is like another card removed from the board, which is not great. Especially since usually Omnimon can attack twice if you evolve it correctly from the Black World Groundmon, or can remove stuff if you play option cards. I don't know, this card's okay. It's not great, but it's okay. It's still useful, but I personally haven't been in a position to where I'm just like, I need this card to win, because I've been able to play around not having this card or play around having this card. So that's it for the options. As far as the other options you have, if you want to play more control, you could play different options. There's all sorts of different ones. You have Deathclaw for level 4s, Earthshaker for level 4 and 5s. You have Hell's Gate for level 6s or higher, Trump Sword for everything, as long as they're unsuspended. So if you want to play more options, you're still a Lilithmon deck, so you can play options and be happy with it. Just something to consider. I feel like you don't need options between Omnimon's Zwart's removal, Devimon's Retaliation removal, Lady Devimon getting rid of level 3s, and Chaos Galmon's and Chimeramon's level 5 removal. I'm pretty content. But if you want more, it's an easy way to get more. But anyways, thank you guys for watching today's video. Let me know in the comments down below if there's anything you want to know about regarding matchups, maybe like deck numbers, like ratios, different cards you personally have tried and had success with, or different cards that you're interested in trying. All that stuff, let me know in the comments down below. I'll gladly open up my ears and talk to you guys. I love having conversations about these decks, so let me know in the comments down below. Drop a like if you haven't already, subscribe, share all the good jazz, and I'll see you guys next time.